man. Say, man. What's good, YouTube? Trizzy Gang in the hood. Man, Trizzy Gang, what's good, family? Listen, man. Happy New Year's to all of y'all, man. We are officially in 2026, man. We are officially in 2026. And, man, this year is going to be great to a lot of us, y'all. It's almost weird. I feel like a lot of people went through the craziest of shit in 2025. Myself included. I got a video coming out soon, y'all. I got a video coming out soon on the 1 year anniversary. I ain't gonna say anniversary, but the 1 year of my best friend passing. You know, his picture's right here on the wall. I'll take the picture down when I make that video. But yeah, man, I feel like a lot of us went through the craziest shit in 2025, man. And it's fine because y'all know God works in his mysterious ways, and at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason. But yeah, 2025, I ain't gonna lie, we could throw that shit in the garbage. The only thing I liked about 2025 was how much I was working towards, like, you know what I'm saying, my content. Other than that, I don't give a fuck about 2025. I'm glad that shit is over. I'm glad I'm done with 2025, nigga. I'm done. You feel me? But anyways, man, we on to bigger and better things, and I hope all of y'all were safe last night and continue to be safe tonight. Unfortunately, my ass got work tomorrow, so I can't even really enjoy my off day. You know what I'm saying? Even after I'm done recording these 2 other videos, bro, I got a dip. I can't even record as much as I want, so it is what it is, man. But shout out to JxmyHighroller. I had to check on this video because I seen Curry in the thumbnail. Looked like he got fouled, and the title of this says the NBA needs to fix this problem. So I might be yapping in this. I might be yapping in this video because y'all already know, man. Especially if you just watched my last Warriors reaction versus the Hornets. Bro, it almost feels like this dude was not getting any foul calls. Refs wasn't trying to let... And let's just play the video, bro. $80 better than Giannis is crazy. Never.
Y'all got beef? I'm like, beef?
Yeah.
Like, we're out there competing, but beef?
Kevin Love, Sharif Abdul-Rahim, Al Jefferson, Drew Gooden, Josh Smith, Tim Thomas, Antoine Walker, Lamar Odom, Jason Williams, Horace Grant, Otis Thorpe.
The NBA season is in full swing, and it's about that time. We've got a new batch of hot takes to look at today. The good ones, the bad ones, and the downright atrocious.
I ain't gonna lie, I know Stephen A. beat. We gotta add.
Today, your approval and rituals. Found with the show. Probably a good.
I'm about to say, I know folks, like, I ain't gonna lie, I know Stephen A. be saying the most heinous things sometimes, but I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, it's entertaining. Like, that's my personal opinion. That's why I don't take Stephen A. serious, because I think I look at him as an entertainer, bro. Like, y'all, I feel like folks take his words too serious, bro. Like, no cap.
With 2025 coming to an end, it's probably a good time to look back on a great year of basketball, fond memories and bright futures. But instead, we're gonna do the exact opposite and dive into some of the hottest NBA takes the internet has to offer. Beginning with this one that says the 2017 Cavaliers beat this year's Thunder. And this take just falls under the umbrella of X team from the past beats this year's Thunder, which is also just a...
Because folks should have never been comparing to 2017. Like, I said, that shit was the most disrespectful shit I ever done saying, bro. Okay, maybe you want to compare the 2018 Warriors, the 2018-2019 Warriors. But even then, I'm not doing that. I'm personally not doing that. I'm not doing that. But okay, if you want to do that, I understand, because that's when, you know, chemistry issues between the Warriors, like, it wasn't as peaches and cream. But that 17 Warriors, hell nah. Like I said, bro, I think they only lost 1 game that whole entire playoffs going into the finals, and their 1 loss was in the finals. Nigga, come on, the Spurs were just smacking these boys. Stop it, bro. Stop it, bro. The Cavs definitely, though. LeBron and Kyrie, there's a good chance they beat OKC, bro. They beat the motherfucking Warriors with the best record of all time. Come on, man.
Category of ex-player from the past is better than current SGA. The worst discourse in all of basketball at the moment. First, it was the Thunder aren't as good as the 2017 Warriors.
They aren't.
Then it was they aren't better than the 2015 Warriors, and now they aren't better than the 2017 Cavaliers.
They're probably better than the 2015 Warriors. The Warriors that won the first chip? Oh, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I'll give OKC that. Especially as an overall whole team. Bro, I'll give OKC that. I'll get them that. At the end of the day, we did beat LeBron without Kyrie and Kevin Love. It is what it is. I don't think that takes anything away from our chip, but we did beat them without their full team. You know what I'm saying? And the next year, Cavs fan and everybody that hates the Warriors are going to say that the Cavs beat us fully healthy, but y'all already know we had injuries and all that shit. But it is what it is. Draymond gets suspended and shit. It is what it is. But this OKC team, Definitely could beat the 2015 Warriors for sure.
Thunder wouldn't even beat the 2013 Pacers.
That's crazy.
What? Can we just give it a rest? I knew one day fans of 2010s basketball would eventually become the unks that downplay the pedigree of future players and teams, but I didn't think it would happen this soon. We are now the 90s old heads we used to despise. How quickly we went from the Thunder are too inexperienced, to the regular season doesn't matter if you can't get it done in the playoffs, to, well, they won, but they barely squeaked it out over a mid-Pacers team. What exactly do the Thunder have to do to be taken seriously? Not only are they a great team, they do.
My personal opinion, not that I don't take them seriously, but what they got to prove to me, why y'all seen in the beginning of the season and up till now, what I've been saying, I say they're a good team. They're not a great team to me. They're not like some historic team to me. What they got to prove to me is like, first of all, sure they beat the Nuggets last year, but hey, at the end of the day, health. I'm not blaming on it, but they didn't beat a fully healthy Nuggets team. You know what I'm saying? Their comp in the finals wasn't good. It just wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would say their comp going to the finals wasn't even, like, they didn't face nobody that was, like, on their level. Let's be real. Let's be real. And I better not hear anybody talking about the Wolves. Stop it. Who thought the Wolves would beat these boys? Not I. That's why I wanted my Warriors to play them. My Warriors would have put up a better fight than the Wolves. I'm just being real. Just being honest. And then they already talked about the Nuggets. So it's just like, then you go play the Pacers and they take you to game 7? Man, I'd rather have seen the Celtics versus OKC last season was supposed to be what the finals was, bro. Literally. Or if it wasn't gonna be the Celtics, I'm over here stuttering and shit, y'all. I'm hungover, you feel me? Bear with your boy. But if it wasn't supposed to be the Celtics, it was supposed to be the motherfucking Cavs. The Cavs were going back and forth with OKC last year all season, if y'all remember.
All the things we want great teams to do. They're homegrown, they play awesome defense, they're tough and physical, team-oriented ball, they don't rely on threes, they're deep, well-coached, composed. What other tests do they need to pass? I don't know who would win a matchup between the 2017 Cavs and this year's Thunder. That Cavs team was really good, and they did win one game in the finals against the greatest team of all time. But I do know that the Thunder have one of, if not the best defense in NBA history. God. They're 10 players deep, they have the reigning MVP, and they won an NBA championship. To say the 2017 Cavaliers would give the best team in the league today belt to ass,
they would.
Also saying the 2017 Cavaliers are far better than any team in the NBA today. And I just don't buy
it. They are!
I remember at the time how people...
What? Bro, I think I even did a video about this Cavs team's run to the finals that year. Or was it, no, that was 2016? The 2016 Cavs. I actually did a video on their run, bro. Them boys was putting belt to ass on everybody, bro. This Cavs team right here in 2016 is better than every team in the league right now. Facts. I don't know why that's so hard, bro. You have the best player on earth right here. You have Kyrie, who, let's be real, Kyrie wipes everybody on OKC besides Shea. So you got Kyrie and you got LeBron. You got Shea. Who else?
People felt about that Cavs team.
Man,
how they
on.
had many flaws, had an easy run to the finals, and were carried by LeBron. And as much as I wish it were true, prime LeBron does not conquer all. We have plenty of evidence for this. But this is just the way things go. People fall in love with a certain era, usually the one they grew up with, then in an attempt to preserve those memories, either completely rewrite or exaggerate what happened and
Hold on, y'all. Did I just get a strike? Hold on. All right, y'all. We straight. We good.
And tear down the new guys in the process. Do you know how many James Harden apologists have surfaced recently, praising his prime years and how unstoppable he was? And I agree, but these are the same people that hated his game when it was happening, called him an unethical, foul-baiting playoff choker. The only difference between being hated and being loved is time.
Bro, that man was really foul baiting though.
People said when the 73-win Warriors lost the championship in 2016 that they were frauds. It ain't worth a thing if it don't got that ring. As if because they lost in the finals, everything they did that season was in vain. Fast forward 10 years and people are now using the 2016 Warriors as the gold standard of excellence. But the Thunder have it even worse. Not only did they win a championship, they've come into this season with one of the most dominant stretches in NBA history, and they are still being discredited in the most creative, disingenuous ways imaginable. And in 10 years, I cannot wait to hear people say how incredible and historic and great the 2025 Thunder were, despite saying none of those things right now. We must refrain from becoming the thing we despised and give credit where credit is due. I do not like the Thunder's antics just as much as the next guy, but it is okay to admit that they are a great team who could probably go toe-to-toe with just about any team in NBA history.
Oh my gosh, pop it out, bro. Stop lying, bro. Come on, Jimmy, bro. You're lying, bro. No, they can't. No, they can't. And that's not me hating, bro. They cannot. Bro, they can't. And if you, bro, somebody needs to make a compilation on YouTube, because I've seen it on TikTok. Somebody need to make a compilation of the OKC hacking folks. Like straight hacking, bro. Y'all get confused with their defense. Their defense still is good, obviously. They can't just hack their way to being a great defense. But they hack, bro, like crazy. Like a lot, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, all this their defense, bro. Like, relax, bro.
Team who could probably go toe-to-toe with just about any team in NBA history.
Never.
Now, our next take says James Harden is more influential than Steph Curry. And as blasphemous as this may sound, there is some truth here.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, Jimmy. You gonna let me click off this video, Brody. You gonna make me click off this video. I'm gonna give you a chance. The only thing I can say that you're going to say is his step back. He's not, bro. No, he's not more influential. Like, stop.
Curry. And as blasphemous as this may sound, there is some truth here. Steph may have single-handedly changed the course of NBA history more than any other player. On a macro scale, Curry caused a shift in the entire timeline of basketball. On a micro scale, when you look around the league and the archetype of players we see today, you're more likely to see influences of James Harden, for better or for worse. The stepbacks, the physicality, the crafty downhill scoring, the ball-dominant combo guards, the ways in which players get their points, the foul baiting. In a perfect world, everyone would emulate what Steph does. But it's not a perfect world, and there's no one else on the planet who can do what Steph does. Harden's game, on the other hand, is...
No, Curry's more influential, bro. I'm sorry. I don't care what he says, bro. The fact that the NBA's played the way it's played now is because of Curry. You could say because the Warriors as a whole, but if Curry's not Curry, the Warriors don't even play like that. So no, it's Curry, bro. Just literally the way the basketball is played now, the amount of threes that teams take in a game is because of the Warriors and Steph Curry. He's like, James Harden can't even come nowhere near close. I don't give a fuck about play style, the way you play. James Harden is not the first person to play everything JxmyHighroller just explained. He's not the first. Come on, bro.
Applicable for a lot of players.
The step backs, okay, sure.
Enough to convert those
foul baiting,
players into Harden's successors. And this is probably where the natural course of the game was going to inevitably lead. But it was Harden who really perfected this ISO-heavy, change of pace, triple threat style of play that we see littered throughout the NBA today. In fact, it's such a popular style that it has become essentially the default for most elite guards. Even from a historical perspective, Harden is one of a handful of players that changed the actual rules of the game. He continues to have his tactics used by the league's best players. But Steph Curry is a singularity. He didn't just change the way players play the game, he changed the game itself. Not just with his three-point shooting, but with his emphasis on off-ball movement, his gravity from 35 feet out, and his demonstration as a smaller guard being the best player on a championship-winning team. And his influence will be felt long after he retires.
For sure.
James Harden did change the game. But Steph Curry may be the biggest game changer in basketball.
Thank you. I was about to say, no way, Jimmy.
From Nick Wright.
No way.
It's an approach on the GOAT debate that I've never heard of before.
So I have a theory. If Jordan never existed and the universally accepted greatest player of all time was Kareem, because that's who it would have been, a guy like Tim Duncan would be in the GOAT debate. What people turned the GOAT debate into was not who's the greatest player ever, it's who reminds me of Michael Jordan the most, which is why Kobe is probably a touch historically overrated because he is the most similar to Michael Jordan.
Right.
But because Mike was considered the GOAT, people elevated Kobe past a guy like Tim Duncan, who was just objectively better than him. Instead of the question being who's the greatest basketball player of all time, people asked that question, but what they were really asking is who's the most similar to Michael Jordan, and those are not the same thing.
Yeah.
Nick is 100% right here. Michael Jordan was such an overwhelmingly dominant and popular player that once
I actually don't really think that's true, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, a player doesn't have to play like Mike, though, to be considered in the GOAT debate. You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna lie, for somebody, or for them to pass Mike, I should say. I ain't gonna lie, in my opinion, the way somebody can pass Mike as for being the GOAT is somebody like Wemby, right? Somebody who, like, has such a crazy, like, play. Like, he's just a different type of player. But you have to obviously have the resume. So you got to get the rings. You got to get the championships. You know what I'm saying? You got to get all that shit. The MVPs. You have to get that too. But like somebody like Wemby, if he's able to get like 5 rings, hella MVPs, he can pass Jordan. He can. Let's be real. He can. And also, while being defensive players of the year, bro, his nigga can pass Jordan. So I don't really like agree with that, if I'm being honest with you.
100% right here. Michael Jordan was such an overwhelmingly dominant and popular player that once it was established that he was the GOAT, the goalpost shifted to who is the closest thing to Jordan competition. Even things like what the greatest player should look like or what their role on the court should be changed because of Jordan. MJ was many things, but first and foremost, he was a scorer. And so scoring became the overwhelmingly largest indicator of greatness. How a player moves, Jordan was graceful and explosive, and so the next guy must also move like a cat and jump out of the gym. It wasn't who's the next great player, it was literally who's the next Michael Jordan. And of course that player was Kobe Bryant. Many fans will even use the logic of if MJ's the GOAT and Kobe's the closest thing to MJ, then he must be the second greatest player of all time. And although I have Kobe higher all time than a lot of fans, I do think this approach has plagued and hurt these conversations for decades now. Despite Tim Duncan's incredible impact throughout his career, the fact that he looked, acted, and played nothing like MJ certainly did not help his GOAT case. I think we're seeing this same issue with Nikola Jokic right now. Because his game isn't super flashy, he doesn't play above the rim, and he doesn't look like an ultra-elite, world-breaking basketball player, some fans just dismiss the fact that he is one of the greatest players the game has ever seen. When Jordan retired, he wasn't just the GOAT, he was the blueprint. And if you weren't built from the same design, you were inherently penalized for it. However, as time goes along and the average basketball fan becomes removed from the days of MJ's cultural gravity, I do think we are moving away from this way of thinking. Impact and greatness comes in many different shapes and forms. And although Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time, you don't have to resemble him or his game to be in that conversation. This is a great take. Now our last take comes from a disgruntled NBA viewer who says late game fouling has ruined the end of games. And I could not agree more. Watching the end of tight games these days is a special kind of torture. They say time travel isn't possible, but NBA teams manage to turn 30 seconds into 20 freaking minutes. And the worst part is, the only time this strategy is used is during good close games, absolutely butchering all the excitement of the moment. In the OKC Spurs matchup a couple weeks ago, the last 10 seconds of game time lasted nearly 12 minutes. This was a great game for 46 minutes with what could have been an exciting ending, pissed away with timeouts, commercial breaks, and free throws. And right when you think the bid is up and teams are going to stop intentionally fouling each other and let the clock run out, they inexplicably foul again, and now you're stuck watching another Wingstop ad. Look at the play-by-play of the final 25 seconds of this game. What have they done to the game I love? 20 fouls, 24 subs, and not a single lead change to show for it. Intentionally fouling late in games has always been a thing, but it wasn't until fairly recently when teams started regularly fouling while up 3, attempting to preserve their lead. So now instead of one team fouling and the other team trying to avoid it by playing sound, disciplined defense, both teams are out there just chasing each other around getting fouls. Now, this shouldn't be a hot take. At least I don't think it's children, but there are still a lot of fans who believe this is a legitimate strategy that shouldn't take a backseat to our viewing experience. That the priority of these teams is to win, not consider how entertaining it is for those watching. And this is a legitimate strategy, and I do agree to an extent. But that extent came and went a long time ago. Winning has always been a priority in the NBA, and that has never stopped the end of games from being entertaining before. A lot of people don't think this is a problem that needs to be fixed. But if we were trying to fix this issue, some plausible solutions may be once the clock reaches a certain point, say 1 minute left, the team getting fouled gets 1 free throw and possession. Another suggestion some fans have made is 3 free throws on any intentional fouls committed beyond the 3-point line within the final minute of game time. But virtually every possible solution offered up...
Nah, you can't give refs that much power, bro. I ain't gonna lie. That's too scary when it comes to these NBA refs. You can't let them do that.
...penalizes the team with the lead, so it doesn't look like this strategy will be going anywhere anytime soon. You don't see this tactic play out in every close game, but when you do, get comfortable, buddy, because you're about to witness a 30-minute ad break with some occasional free throws. This
I ain't gonna lie.
A great take.
I just turn it off at that point, y'all. I just turn it off because I'm not about to sit here watching teams just go back and forth shooting free throws and shit. Just for like the team that's up, when that bullshit starts happening, like that, the team that's up is winning the game. So why am I about to sit here just watch this free throw back and forth? I ain't watching this yet. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, man. The NBA's in a weird space right now. JxmyHighroller definitely have my blood boiling in this video, but he came through with that Curry and Harden take.